I'm Kayla.
And I'm Jackie.
And this is the Kayla and Jackie Show. Alright, we got it. Finally. I managed to not hit record the first time.
And I remembered to speak. So I forget. I always let you, because, go. I'm like, oh, finish telling. Oh, I'm supposed to say this with you.
We need to just make a recording so we can just put it at the beginning of these episodes. Alright, anyway. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We thought we would do an episode about our 2016 resolutions and just kind of like where we want to see ourselves at the end of the year. You want to start?
I think you can go first.
Well, one of my big things that I always struggle with any year regardless is my being healthy, both physically, mentally, and emotionally. And this year, I really want to focus on that because it's so easy to just kind of go through day to day, not really taking care of yourself. And I know, my big thing is I want to make everybody around me happy, but then in the process, I'm not. So it's time I focus on myself, and honestly, I don't really care if anybody else is not happy with that because it's not up to them.
Yeah, because why would they not be happy for you? That's a person you want, is someone who would be happy that you change. But there's always people who, if you make changes, they're not quite happy because they want you to stay the way they know you. Yeah,
because they're afraid that by you making all these changes, it's going to affect or change who you are as a person.
And then that affects them because if they see you changing, then are they going to have to change?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be for the better. It actually, I started feeling happier at the end of last year. I don't know why. And I think, though, it started because I saw this picture on Pinterest that kind of, snapped how I saw things and, changed my point of view. It was two people on a bus, and one was this guy. He was just kind of looking out at this pretty town, and then this guy on the other side of the bus, he was looking at, the dark and, the negative. And the caption was, it is how you see things, or no, something along the lines, I can't remember now, of, it's all how you see the point of view.
Yeah.
So.
It's really your perspective.
Yes, that's what I was trying to say.
Oh,
Yeah. Don't mind me, I'm getting over a cold, so if I'm a little off, that's why.
It's only our second one.
True, but sometimes when
Or is it our third?
No, by the time this one goes up, it'll be third.
Okay. See, I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't either. We're kind of recording them a little bit out of order, but you know what? Whatever. Yeah, so I think that kind of changed how I saw things, and I kind of just started feeling happier because it is really, really easy to just focus on the negativity.
Oh, yeah.
And just think, my life sucks, I'm not going anywhere, this is not where I wanted to be. But it's how you do things is how your life will be shaped.
And also, it sounds stupid, but if you put out what you want and you write it, even writing it down really helps, and then you can try to break it down to make how do you get to those goals, or is that what you want, what do you need to happen, and then you can be at least organized.
Yeah,
in achieving what you want.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
And I know, one of the big things to being happy, at least both emotionally and mentally, is being happy with who you are as a person.
Yeah.
Because happiness doesn't come from finding the right person or having everything in order. I believe that true, honest-to-God happiness comes from loving who you are.
I know, even
inside
though
and outside. I know it's a very cliche thing to say, but until you can look in the mirror and be happy with who you see, you'll never be happy.
And even if it's just acceptance,
Yeah.
just that you accept who you are and what you're doing, because you might never be fully happy. You might always be oh God, when you look in the mirror.
And I'm not saying that you're going to be happy 100% of the time. There's going to be days where you
But you find the things to be happy about.
Yeah. like, I know there's days, like, when I feel like absolute shit, and where I look in the mirror, I'm like, I don't like who I am today, but it ain't getting any better.
Yeah.
So I just kind of suck it up and go through it, and just deal with it as it comes. But I see so many people around me who think happiness comes from being with somebody.
Yeah, or money, or...
Yeah. But then they ended up just being alone, and I don't think happiness is something you can buy. Mm-mm. Like, you may be happy, like, temporarily, but it's not gonna take you to that end result.
Yeah. I lost my train of thought for a second, because my thing was gonna be to be happy. It's like, that was my resolution, even though I'm not saying I'm not happy. I just want to continue to live in the moment. That's good.
Mm-hmm. What is one of your resolutions?
That was it. That and get like a career job.
Yeah, so, that makes sense. Yeah, like, I would like to be in a job. It doesn't necessarily have to lead to a career, but I just want to have money coming in and just kind of start on the road to being financially successful.
Yeah.
Because that's like a hard thing for me, is money and finding jobs.
I just want to be more independent.
Yeah, me too. Like, we're both at that time in our life where we gotta start kind of thinking about ourselves and just taking care of ourselves more.
I know, yeah. I see younger people and I'm like, oh, you don't know yet. Even though they're not that much younger than me, you can just see that they're just starting still. You can just
like, life doesn't really hit you until, I would say, at least 18, or like whenever you get out on your own.
Yeah, but even sometimes, because they say that, like, judgment is the last thing that forms in your brain, and that's not until like your mid-20s.
Nowadays, it seems like it's 30s.
Right, but like, I can kind of see it, because even when I think back to being even like 21 or 20, and like the decisions I made and how I like process things, I feel like I would process them a lot different now, because I feel like I just have better, clear judgment about what I'm doing. Maybe it's because I've just grown up and I could know from the past what to do, or maybe that part of my brain is fully developed. I don't know. But that's what I think of when I see younger people, and they're like, oh, we're doing this, I'm just started dating him and I'm moving in with him, and I'm like, oh, that sounds like a plan.
Yeah, see you in 6 months when you're single and move back in with mom and dad.
Yeah, and I'm like, how do you know him? Like,
do you honestly know him?
Yeah.
Or like, my favorite is nowadays seeing so many people getting married after like 6 to 8 months.
It's a lot.
Yeah, like, I saw this show on TV the other day that was absolutely ridiculous.
Married at First Sight?
No.
Okay, I want to watch that though.
I have seen that. That's a stupid show.
It probably is, because it seems like a disaster.
No, the one I saw was Married by Mom and Dad.
Oh, yeah.
The premise of the show is that these people have tried like every form of dating, or like, I guess dating,
like farmers only. Like, have they tried everything?
Yeah, they've like tried everything, and so they leave it up to their parents to find their soulmate. Oh. And like, they actually, like, the parents propose to these people. Yeah,
that's weird. That would be real creepy. I can't imagine my dad doing that.
Yeah, there's no way I would ever let my parents do that. Because honestly, I feel like they wouldn't know my tastes.
It would really be like, how well do you know me? You know?
Exactly. Because like, my tastes today have changed from when I was like 20.
Oh yeah, I feel like, my grandma asked me the other day what my type was.
Wow.
It was so funny. She's like, do you like guys that are blonde, or do you like guys with dark hair? And I'm like, I don't know, because like, when I look back, I'm like, I liked guys that had like dark hair and dark eyes, and then blue-eyed blonde and like a redhead. So it's like, I don't.
One of mine is that he has to be at least my height or taller, and I'm 5'8", so.
Okay. And I'm like 5'6", 5'5".
Like, I'm not, like, that's just, like, one of my things. Like, honestly, though, if I really love the guy, then I guess it wouldn't matter, but that's kind of, like...
I really am trying to focus on, like, values. Like, I'm really trying to focus, which is hard to figure out when you, like, meet somebody. Mm-hmm. But I'm trying to figure out, like, how we kind of get along and, like, do you stay up real late? Do you go to bed early? How do you value your family time?
Yeah.
Do you care to see your family?
Yeah.
Those kind of things. Because, like, later on, that's what really is important. When you want to go hang out with your family when you have a free day and they don't want to, that could cause problems. Especially if you were like, I want you to come with me.
Yeah, exactly.
So, that's what I'm focusing on more.
That was, like, such a tangent, but, you know.
I know.
That's normal.
That's super normal. That's 2016 year tangents.
Yeah, that's for sure.
That's what we do.
One of my other resolutions is to say yes to more stuff.
Yeah.
Because I'm, like, the first person to automatically say no without even thinking about it. Mm-hmm. And I just kind of decided that, you know what, it's time I start living more and enjoying opportunities, because I know if I look back, there's so many opportunities that I missed because I said no.
Right, and you never know who you're going to meet there.
Exactly.
Can, like, help you with your career, like, just in your life. Like, you might meet someone that could really help you in general.
Yeah,
like,
and, like...
which sounds horrible that you're using people, but...
I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean.
Yeah. And, like, you don't know what doors could have been opened. Yeah, like... I don't say I have regrets, but I know I have missed opportunities.
I have to say, I heard this really cool thing about regrets. They said regret is like a seed you plant today, and when it grows, like, it grows later. So it's like years later, that's when, like, all those regrets come back, and the tree is, like, grown.
That makes sense.
Isn't that crazy? Because then I'm like, yeah. Because there's always something that you're like, oh, I wish I would have done this more in college, or been more active, or even high school. You're like, I wish I would have been in a club and more, like, involved in school, when you're like, I didn't do anything. But I think you did way more than me.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I was just there. So that's something that's hard to let go of, that when you're like, or even academically, when you're like, I could have done so much better.
Oh, yeah. Like, I'm the same way.
When you realize, but you gotta, like, let it go. And it's hard when in the moment you're like, how do I not let this happen to me now?
Yeah.
But I think that saying yes is really helpful.
Yeah, and, like, I'm kind of curious to see what it's gonna present to me this year. Well, like, perfect example, my friends who live down in North Carolina invited me to come down for my birthday. And at first I said no, because I have a couple other trips that are coming up this year, and I wanted to kind of save money for those, but I'm like, you know what, I don't get to see them that often, so I'm like, screw it, I'm going. And I'm going just for 5 days, but it'll be awesome.
I think it's great. That's kind of what studying abroad was like for me. I was just...
Well, because I remember when you asked me about it, you were still such on the fence.
Right.
But I knew that if you said no, it would be a regret.
Right. And I did it. It was quick. It wasn't like a long trip. And it was one of the most amazing things I ever did. That was last year. So that was one of my big things from last year.
Really the only big thing, like, I had some great moments last year. I think, though, the top is... I became an aunt, or adoptive aunt, again for the, like, third and fourth time.
That's nice.
Yeah, I've lost track. So many of my friends are having kids, and they're like, oh, yeah, you're going to be an aunt.
I would love that, and that's not happening. Like, at all. Like,
yeah, let's see. I've got 2 nieces, and 2 nephews, 1 on the way, and... I had, like, this is going to sound funny, but my family considers our pets to be, like, part of the family.
I feel like that happens with a lot of people.
Yeah, but when I say that, a lot of people are like, that's weird. But it's just...
I feel like a lot of people, because I never had pets, so people are always like, how can you not have pets? Like, they're part of your family, you know? Like,
yeah, like, sometimes it's not the greatest opportunity, though, for people to have pets. It was just always the thing. We had pets regardless. Yeah. I've always had a variety of animals. But anyway, what I was going to say is I have technically 1 nephew pet and 1 niece pet.
You don't think of them like your brother and sister?
No.
Because I feel like that's what people usually do. The mom is always like, that's my baby.
No, my mom doesn't do that.
Okay.
No, like, my brother's dog, I consider to be my nephew in a way. And then my friend always tells me that her dog is my niece, so I'm like, okay.
My uncle jokes that especially when my grandparents got a dog, that he used to joke that was like their sister, and because it's a girl dog.
Yeah.
And my grandpa used to go outside and play with the dog, and just be like going around playing, and he would just look out the window and be like, he never did that with me. It just as a joke.
Oh my gosh.
And then like start laughing, but it was always so funny because it was out of nowhere. And then you look outside and you see my grandpa like holding a broom and spinning around, which you never see him do anything like that. And you're like, he's playing. And it was just cute.
Wow.
Yeah, and they always joke that that dog's their little sister.
No, we never took it to that extreme, but we just always consider our pet to be part of the family.
Yeah.
And what I always thought was weird is like when we would take them to the vet and they would refer to our pet as what our last name is.
Oh, that's different.
But it makes sense because there could be another dog there that has the same name.
I guess so.
Yeah, so that's just how they.
I think I always imagined that. Like when I thought about having a pet, it would be like have a full name.
Yeah.
Like a real name.
Yeah.
You know what just drive me crazy is when kids, I'd play like baby dolls with them and they would name a baby like Marshmallow. I'm like, you can't do that. It has to be a real name.
But they're being creative.
I know, but I didn't like it. And we were like the same age. And I'm like, yeah, the thing is you have to give it like a real person name, not, like Candy Cane and Marshmallow. I'm like, listen.
No, I think the craziest I would go is with my stuffed animals. No, well, I wouldn't name every stuffed animal, and I had a lot. I used to collect those toy play horse things, and I would name all of those, but most of them had already come with names.
Oh yeah, I never liked that.
Yeah, but a lot of them I liked, and I just didn't care about changing the name.
Sometimes I did that with Beanie Babies, but sometimes I'm like, you know what? You don't look like a snip or whatever. You know, a cat one.
No, I didn't really play with my Beanie Babies too much.
Were you saving them for money?
Yeah, well, no, I would just collect them pretty much. I still have all of mine.
I think I still have mine too. My dad made me go through them a few years ago to see if anything was worth anything, and I'm like, no, and I ruined most of the tags anyways. So
yeah, we had tag collectors to save those would just rip them off.
Yeah, I was just playing with them like I played with my Barbies. I was making soap operas.
Nice. The only ones that I've seen that are actually worth something nowadays are the bears.
Really? Oh yeah, you're right. I
have the Princess Di Bear.
Oh, that one could be worth something.
Yeah. What else do I have? I've got some collectibles.
I think I have a 4th of July bear.
Yeah, I've got that one. I've got the St. Patrick's Day one. I got a lot of the holidays.
I really like the ghost one. That was one of my
favorite.
favorite.
That one was cute.
I really like that
I
one.
liked the peace sign bear.
Oh, I remember that
but
one.
But it had the same birthday as me, so that's why.
Yeah, I feel like one had mine, but I have no idea.
Yeah, and the other ones that I saw, do you remember the bowls, I think, that had the switch tags? It was a manufacturer from the company.
I feel like I do.
Well, we had them, and those are actually worth something nowadays. I actually like, though, the new, up-to-date ones, because they changed them, and you know how the old ones are filled with the beans type stuff?
Yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, now they're actually filled with fluff.
Oh.
So they're kind of more of like a stuffed animal.
It used to be so much fun, though, how they would make that noise.
Well, that was the point of their name, Beanie Babies.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. The 90s were good times.
I know.
No, but now they've changed them, because I remember they brought the Beanie Kids that were just creepy as hell.
Oh, no.
Not
the same.
No. And then they had the little puffball things for a while.
Oh, God.
But now they're finally getting back to the the stuffed animal kinds.
Oh, wow.
I almost bought owl ones the other day.
Sometimes they're really cute.
They are, and they have different sizes now. They have the big stuffed animals.
Yeah. I feel like I had a giant cat, though. I got it somewhere when I was little. I had a giant cat.
I didn't have any big ones. I just had all the little ones.
I think I named it Cutie Judy or something. I don't know why. I think it was Cutie Patootie because the Rosie O'Donnell show back in the 90s. She used to say it all the time. Yeah, I feel real old right now. Thinking back.
And then my grandma would always go to McDonald's when they'd have the little ones.
Ooh, yeah.
And get 2 of every one of them for me and my brother.
How many Seymours did you get? Like, what was that? Walrus? Something?
Yeah, I think
seal?
so.
Probably seal.
She would, like, go in and, like, buy them.
Oh, I just would always get Seymour.
Oh.
I always felt like, I was like, why do I always have, 10 Seymours?
I actually read a hoax a couple years ago that they filled them with black widow eggs, spider eggs, and that they are all now starting to hatch.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah. And people are like, no, that's a hoax. If that was true, they would have hatched years ago.
I don't like that.
No, it was a hoax. I was like, no.
I still don't want to think about it, though. It's, ugh.
I know. I've got so many, and just the thought of that, it's like,
terrifies me.
hell no.
Yeah, like opening that box with all 9.
Yeah.
It'd be horrifying. I like that we're talking about Beanie Babies, and we're talking about 2016.
Yep. Yep, see, tangent it is.
That's what we do.
Yep. So, anyway, back to where we want to be.
Or we just, I don't know, talk more about 2016. More about life.
Yeah, so, like, I want to start taking better care of myself. Because, like, I've got a chronic medical syndrome, and what I'm doing now is not healthy for me, and it's actually starting to affect my health. And so I want to get back into exercising and just overall feel healthier. And right now I don't, minus the fact that I have a cold.
That doesn't help.
Yeah. But I want to overall feel healthy.
And it's really good for your, what is it? When you exercise, it raises your endorphins.
Yeah.
And then, like, kind of floods your body with, like, good emotions.
Yeah. And I've just found some, like, great new workout music. Well, it's not really music. It's actually motivational speeches.
Oh.
Yeah. I saw it on Instagram. And I'm like, what is this? And I started listening to it, and I got goosebumps.
Wow.
It was like, it's just amazing.
What was that video we did the one day? That lady you had? It was like a Weight Watchers.
Oh, yeah. That was just like a, well, no, did we do the Weight Watcher one?
I don't know. It was that lady who was like,
yeah,
would just start changing in midway, and you're like, whoa. I'm like, and you're like, I was like on the ground. You're like, we changed, and I'm like, when? And I'm like, I was still like raising my leg and my like doing like pulling it up and have my leg in the air, and I'm like, wait, we were supposed to stop this? Like when?
No, that wasn't the Weight Watcher one. That was that one that was supposed to be good for beginners.
Oh my god,
the one with the chair.
Oh, that stupid chair. And that lasted for like days, it felt like.
Yeah.
And it was like, lean on the chair. And then
we're both sliding off the chair.
Yeah, and God, it felt like, what else she was doing? Or she would like start talking about stuff midway, and you're like, focus. What am I supposed to be doing?
Yeah. That was interesting. And I like didn't feel anything from doing that.
No, and I remember she didn't quite explain something, so I was doing it how I thought, and you were like, you're doing it wrong. You're not supposed to be like jumping up. You're supposed to like stay squatted. And I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah, she was just bad.
That was with the 30-day shred.
Yeah.
That was insane.
Mm-hmm.
That one.
We were both just like, I'm dead.
And that's the beginner. And I've done level 3. It goes only to 3. And I barely can make it to 3. Like, I finish it and I'm like, dead.
I only did it twice. Because I did it that one time with you.
Yeah.
And then I bought it myself and did it.
It's hard.
Yeah, it is.
My friend, she had it. I talked about it like with her a year ago. She's never made it through the warm-up.
Holy crap.
Yeah, the warm-up's too much, which I can see, because the warm-up is a lot.
Yeah.
Especially if you're like, I guess I'll exercise, and not really like in the zone to do it. Then I could see being like, this is a lot.
Yeah. Well, one of my goals, too, is to complete this 4-mile trek that's around, or at this park we go and walk at.
Oh, yeah.
I will finish that this year.
I think that's a good idea.
So, hopefully I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know I can, if I just put my mind to it.
Yeah, we'll just do it.
Are you ready to wrap this up?
Okay.
Even though this really wasn't much about 2016.
No. Not much.
But, you know what? Maybe we'll be on track with the next one. We'll see.
I feel like it's like half of it was 2016 and the other half was us just talking about stuff.
Yeah, that was 90s related.
Yeah, it was like segment 1, 2016, segment 2, everything else.
Yeah, but just so you know, that's just us.
Yeah.
We will veer off, but then circle back to the original conversation topic.
If you have any thoughts, you can send us an email.
At hang on. Yep, I know this. It's kandjpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, and you could maybe send us, like, hey, I had all the Seymour Beanie Babies too, or like,
what were your favorites?
Yeah, that's a good one. That was really good. We feel like a real thing. This is
Yep.
like a real radio show.
Yeah, and hopefully I will get these episodes up on iTunes and YouTube as soon as I can figure this out. It's so confusing.
They can also send us emails about what their resolutions are going to be.
Yeah, that's a good one. Or if you don't want to do that, you can always send us a message on our Twitter account.
Yeah, you can tweet us.
At kandjpodcast, or at our individual accounts at Kayla Wozniak, that's mine.
Chit Chat Jackie.
And we'll see. Maybe you'll be on a future episode.
Yeah. But yeah, I gotta get better at tweeting. I never tweet.
I was on Twitter today because I had a notification that I got a new follower, but then it didn't tell me who it was. So it's weird. That's like a bug they need to fix in the app. So, like, whatever. So I just went over to, like, my followers on my account, and then it showed up. Okay, whatever. Well, I think that's where we're going to leave it from here. So we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.